All right, how is everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for tuning into the Rich CELENZA Show. WTF are you talking about? So what I want to call this podcast is try and do everything without regret. And here's something that I'm going to really get into, and I think you'd be able to relate to it no matter who you are. That is, a lot of times we do shit and then we regret it, obviously, right? And then there's a lot of things that we wish we would have done and we regret that we didn't do them, right? And this could go for big things or small things. But I have a theory that basically for the most part, every moment of our life, we're doing what we want to do, or at least the position we were put in. So if we're all born into certain families, right? We're all programmed by parents, family members, friends, whatever the case may be, in an environment. I grew up in Chicago, so my upbringing is much different than a lot of my close friends in Florida, or my friends in California, even New York. Some are similar, some are total opposites. And I used to bounce between Chicago and Florida growing up. So I saw two different kind of, environments, let's just say, entirely different environments. So I'd be in Chicago, in an alley in the cities of Chicago, and then all of a sudden you're in Florida and you're at Cocoa Beach surfing. It couldn't be, more different. But what I learned was that for the most part, a lot of people do things throughout the day and they're always kind of complaining that they should have done something else, when the truth was they did exactly what they wanted to do. They just don't have the balls to say it. Now, sometimes, don't get me wrong, you'd be like, hey, let's try this restaurant. Even though I want to go to this one, it's my favorite one, but I'm going to try a new one. You go, it sucks. You're like, God damn it, I regretted that. I wish I would have went to my other one. But you still learn something, because here's the deal. You most likely went to the new restaurant because that's truly what you wanted to do. I always say you do truly what you want to do. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, you may want to do things that every day that you can't afford to do, that you don't get to do. That's understandable. But I'm talking about the things that you can control. A lot of times people wake up in the morning. I wish I would have got up earlier. No, you don't. You got up at the time you wanted to get up, I can assure you. Or I wish I would have slept in longer. No, you didn't. You slept exactly probably the amount of time you were going to sleep. That's the same with eating foods. God, I wish I would have ate less. No, you don't. You ate. When you were eating, you wanted that food. Or I should have ate more, or I should have did this. I should have went and did this. It's all these type of things. Now, again, I'm not talking about in the future, you saying when you're 50 years old, God, I wish I would have went to a 4-year university. Or, oh my God, I wish I would have brought property here. I get all that. That's a different type of thing. What I'm talking about is you accepting. Because once you accept that every decision you're making and everything you're doing is because you want to do it, I'm going to tell you, your eyes are going to open. You're also going to start figuring out, why am I doing this shit? Because a lot of things you're doing you don't want to do. You don't even know why you're doing them. It could be even, some people like going to Starbucks, for instance, every day, and then I hear them pissing about it's too much money to go to Starbucks. I'm like, you're going to Starbucks because you enjoy it. Just say you enjoy it. You're better off enjoying the moment, right? And say, or they'll be like, I'm spending too much money at Starbucks. Yeah, no shit. If that's how you feel, but what are you weighing it out? I'm just using this for an example. So they're pissed if they go to Starbucks, and then they're pissed if they don't go to Starbucks. I'm like, how do you figure this out? And the one thing that I have learned over the years for me, and this helps me, is accepting all decisions that I'm making. The thing is, and I did a podcast not long ago on this, is just, you got to analyze what you're doing to a certain degree. Not overanalyze it, but decide what you're doing is really what you want to do. But every decision I make, like if I sleep in, right, I'm acknowledging that I'm sleeping in. I don't wake up and go, oh my God, I blew my day. I shouldn't have done this. I regret it. I should have got up earlier. No, I didn't. If I set an alarm up, if I don't set an alarm to get up and I don't plan on getting up, then most likely I slept in because I wanted to sleep in. If I want to take a nap at a certain time, a lot of people I know are like, oh my God, I can't believe I did this or I did that. For me, back to the nap, I should have said, I took a nap because I was tired. I'm not taking a nap because I'm lazy. And I don't regret taking the nap. If I have to do something for work, I do it. If I can't do it, I can't do it. because I travel so much and I have to catch so many flights, I drive and I'm in so many different cities, I learned I don't have time for regrets, if that makes sense. Like, if I have to catch 2 planes at a certain time and then get to somewhere, I can't play bullshit or patty cake with my life. So, and I think a lot of people can play that game throughout their life. Like, oh, I went to work and I should have got there earlier, but I was a little late, and then I should have answered these emails, but I didn't. I blew it off, I should have did this, and I regret that I didn't do that, and all this shit. My thing is, I have to go. I miss a plane, it's cut and dry. I have to get up in the morning or wherever I'm going. I have to catch that plane. If I don't catch that plane, I blow that job. I can't regret anything. The only thing I can do is do what I'm supposed to do. I don't have the fallout. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I will get on a plane and be like, I'm going to edit some videos, and I get lazy. And guess what? Say I'm like, I can't hear very well in the plane. I'm not going to edit the videos. And then later the next night, I don't have any videos to upload, or something went wrong. I'm like, oh, I regret not uploading the videos on the airplane or editing them. I'll be like, no, you didn't want to edit them, Rich. Or you would have. You have to call yourself a lot of times out on your bullshit and your nonsense. A lot of people are even like, oh, I spend too much time on social media. Yeah, no shit. Then stop. You're on social media because why? Because you want to be. If you didn't want to be on social media, you wouldn't want to be. It's kind of like I always say with food, right? Usually you don't, a lot of people, don't get me wrong, some people eat when they're not hungry. But for the most part, you eat when you're hungry. Right? That's what you do. Same with everything else you do throughout the day. You do it because you're hungry to do that. It may not be food you're consuming, but that's what you want to do. And then if you do it, stop regretting it. And if you regret it, stop doing it. It's real simple. But for the most part, and this really goes with fitness, my God. So I'm always talking about working out and all that shit. Most people I know, for the most part, they're miserable going to the gym, right? So they go to the gym. Not everybody, but a lot of people are miserable. I shouldn't say that. A lot of people are miserable. They go to the gym. They just want to get it over and done. I get it, and they go home. They're kind of miserable there at the gym. But say they blow off the gym. They're miserable they didn't go to the gym. I'm like, you're miserable if you got to go to the gym, and you're miserable if you didn't go to the gym. Is that what you're basically saying? That's kind of what they're saying, which, again, doesn't make any sense. But I think throughout life, a lot of us are miserable or regret what we have to do, or we claim we don't want to keep doing what we're doing as we're doing it. I don't understand that. I am at the point in my life, everything I'm doing is because I know most likely that's what I'm doing. I kind of had to stop bullshitting myself. And I went through this for a long time. No matter where I kind of was at, I was aggravated. I wanted to be somewhere else. I was almost chasing a ghost. And I used to be like, oh, I shouldn't be here. I should be there. So if I'm in New York, oh, I'm exhausted in New York. Get me to LA. Okay, I go to LA. What am I doing here? I got to go see family in Chicago. Get to Chicago. I go to Chicago. What am I doing here? I got to get back to Florida to see my kids. I'm in Chicago. I'm in Florida now with my kids. I was never satisfied, I think, with any of my decisions, or I felt uncomfortable. And I think a lot of people go through this. And the one thing you got to realize is just start learning to enjoy the life that you kind of can control. And the decisions you make they may not always be the best decisions, but you made the decision. Stand behind the goddamn decision. And it could be as simple as you saying, I'm going to Five Guys Burgers, hypothetically. And then you go there, and then you eat, and you're like, oh my God, I ate too much. Or I can't believe I spent this much money because they're expensive burgers. Or whatever. These are things I hear from people all the time. Or, you know what, I ate too many fries. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have went. I'm like, what are you talking about? You went there because you wanted a fucking burger. It's that simple. Stop making something that you wanted to do and then you regret doing. Can you imagine like what you are sending the signals to your brain and to your body? You're just we're just such confused specimens. If you go back to I don't know how many thousands of years, basically we didn't have a lot of this bullshit decision making. We had to go out and hunt. If you wanted to eat, you had to kill, or maybe get maybe leaves or fruits or whatever I don't know. But if you wanted to, your life was to survive. That's basically how simple it was. If maybe you had a family or a tribe or whatever you had to bring things back for them as well. But it was about survival, right? A lot of the shit that we're thinking of or talking about or doing, and then we're contemplating, or we're, what's the other word? Indecisive. All this shit, what does it do for you? It does nothing. And I not long ago, one of my friends' families owns an Italian restaurant. We're talking. And sometimes he's like, oh man, I wish I would have done this. And I get it. Or even, I wish I would have done that. And then I'd be like, okay, here's what, you hear that all the time. And then during the day, I'd be with him and he's like, oh man, I should have ordered this when we ate. Why didn't we get that? I'm like, because this is what we wanted at that moment. It's easy now to say that. But who cares? I enjoyed what we ordered originally. It's almost like a personality, and I think a lot of people have this, that no matter what you decide on, it's the wrong decision. So kind of flip that. Look at it as a lot of the decisions you're making are the right decisions for that moment. You can always, and as time goes on, you're going to evolve and make different decisions, obviously. But what I'm saying is, accept the decisions you're making now. Stop regretting them. And I guess sometimes you may go to certain places and be like, oh my God, I can't believe I did this, what I should have did that, or, this or that, whatever the case may be. Stop beating yourself up. I did a podcast, stop cluttering your brain with all this bullshit, because a lot of shit we're doing or talking about, it's almost like we have too many decisions now, especially with apps and with technology. Because if you go back 20 years ago and said, hey, I want to go to this restaurant to eat, the only restaurants you really knew about were the ones you usually visited or someone told you about. But now, because there's a selection, you can go online and there's 50 restaurants near you. So now you're like, oh, should I go do that? Should I do this? Should I do that? Oh, let me try this one. Oh, maybe I should do this one. Then you go to that one. You're like, God damn it, I knew it. I should have went to the other one. There's always that going on. And I think that's what our society is becoming, even buying a car or a house or whatever. We almost have too many things that we're cluttered with that kind of make us feel like we're always making the wrong decisions or regret. So that's just something I was going to do a podcast on that I thought was quite interesting. But yeah, for the most part, stop regretting what you're doing. Stop regretting who you are. Learn that the decisions you're making are the right decisions for you. And if it's not the right decision for you, you have nobody else to blame but yourself. And don't let other people make decisions for you and then you're constantly complaining about them too, because you're just nothing but an asshole. A lot of times when I travel, people know, or whoever I'm with, even locally, they know I mainly like Italian food. I don't eat curry or whatever the case may be. But I always tell them, if you're going to ask me to pick, I'm going to pick Italian food most likely, because that's what I like. But sure, I'll go for a burger, steaks too. Don't get me wrong, or whatever. I'll eat. But a lot of times they'll be like, what do you want to eat? I'll say, you know what I like to eat? What do you want to eat? They'll be like, oh yeah, you're right. Do you like this? I'll be like, yes or yes. Sure, I'll go there, or no, whatever the case may be. We go to wherever they want to go. And a lot of times they'll be like, oh man, we should have went and did Italian, or we should have. I'm like, no, we came here because this is what you wanted to go do. You wanted to try something different, and I don't blame you. So that's the last thing. I'm going to wrap this thing up. Realize all these are different adventures. Stop regretting what you don't have and just like what you're going through or what you do have. All right? It's very simple. But I'm telling you, once you realize every decision you're making, what is it? They talk about, I think, that with the law of attraction and all that too. I think they do, about your decision making regarding something like that. But please accept your decisions. If you went out to buy gym shoes and you're looking at Nike, Adidas, I don't care if it's Puma or whatever, and you're like, oh, I don't know what to get. You get Nike, you wear them, you're like, oh, these aren't as comfortable as I thought. I should have went with Puma. Then go buy the Pumas. How's that one grab you? Shut your mouth and just move forward. Stop making yourself crazy. All right, if you get a chance, check out CELENZA.com. And I've been posting a lot of YouTube videos on fitness, different places I've been going to. I was just in Hawaii, so I did some videos there as well. And I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And if you get a chance, leave a comment. Yeah. And if you're traveling, safe travels. Take care.